Welcome to 5 Minutes of Peace, a time for you to reflect, recharge, and renew. 5 minutes to awaken something within yourself. Created by thepeaceroom.love. On today's episode, we have a special guest for you. Please enjoy.
I'm Ella Davar. So I grew up in rural Russia where my grandparents and my parents grew their own food, not because it was organic, it was healthy, none of those things, because they needed to be self-sufficient because they couldn't afford buying food. And it was cheaper to grow your own food, take care of the animals for the family to have food throughout the winter. And as a young teenager in the 90s, I was like, you can buy this stuff, right? All these organic trends right now saying how we should be healthy and supporting local farmers, and I'm all about it, but I'm like, it's a lot of work to do that. So when I was a young teenager, I left my hometown and I said, I'm just gonna make all the money in the world because the supermarkets and the American lifestyle was very attractive. Next thing I know, I land in America all on my own without speaking any English. I was like a little puppy, smiling and nodding, but not able to say anything back to people and barely understanding them too. So that was my journey. I came here as soon as I turned 19 years old, and it was a long journey. I studied English. I got my first degree, associate's degree, and then a second degree and bachelor's degree in finance. Worked on Wall Street for a little bit, but now becoming a registered dietitian, a health coach, nutritionist, specializing in gut health and organic living. I definitely see my grandparents, my parents now as my biggest teachers. I graduated from NYU, and when I talk about healthy eating, I always say I didn't learn healthy eating at NYU. I learned science at NYU, but organic living, I knew it all along in my heart. I just had to learn how to appreciate it and value it. I've always searched for a way to express myself. I'm a curious person, and I've always been led in my life by curiosity. I love learning different modalities of well-being. So I studied yoga. I studied meditation, different types of meditation, like hypnosis and healing modalities. And I have a clinical medical degree. And so at some point, I really, also through my own therapy, I found this courage within to give my clients what it is that I believe in. And half of it, what I believe in, is nutrition science, what you eat. And the second part of it is emotional well-being. I pose this question, which is, why do we do what we do when we know what we know? Everyone knows we should be eating healthy, but life happens, treats, all these things will start on Monday. So very often with all this part of my method, which is all spirituality and meditation, I get to tap into those answers for people. And very often those answers are entangled or attached to some trauma or some emotions that are underneath the self-destructive behaviors. So I started guiding these meditations for my clients. Like when they come to my office, we talk about supplements, we talk about food, we talk about testing. And then if I see them doing everything right, but still find themselves spinning their wheels, that's when I take them into this, either their childhood, to see like the inner child meditation. This emotional release really shifts the perspective for some people. And that's why part of my method now, it's called gutbrainmethod.com. Yes, it's still a scientific term, but my program really, when you get into it, you realize that only one part of it is nutrition science and medical treatments, and the second part is meditations that I guide and spiritual and breath work and things that people are really able to create a difference. And it's not because they learned something I told them to eat, but it's because they feel better about themselves and they want to treat themselves better, and they feel worthy, they feel more self-compassion, they feel more self-kindness and self-respect to do better in life. And that's, I think, like those invisible reasons, that's what creates the long-term result. I'm Ella Davar, EllaDavar.com. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening, and thank yourself for taking 5 minutes of peace. We are all connected on the path of love, service, and peace for ourselves and others. We're glad to be together with you on this path. If you would like to know more about the Peace Room, our Reiki treatments, crystal healings, training sessions, and workshops, go to www.thepeaceroom.love. Join us here again whenever you need 5 minutes of peace.